Hey guys, Scott here, and I'm from the future, and today I'm going to tell you about the types of different judgment playstyles and player archetypes you're going to be seeing over the coming months. Now, I think it's been said to death now, and it's very well understood at this point, this killer is hard to play. They are absolutely the most difficult killer in the game to master without a doubt. Now, there's a couple things you can do to make this process a bit easier, and that's what we're going to be seeing with this first archetype. So the first and by far most common archetype for judgment players you're going to be seeing is the Prayer Kneeler add-on, which is the add-on that makes it so whenever you shoot out your crosshair, it sticks on terrain. So you don't have to do these crazy flick 180 shits. You can just aim at a wall, it'll get stuck on the terrain. Then all you have to do is just simply just draw a line to whoever you're trying to down. It removes a lot of the brain power required to play this killer, and it simplifies the whole process. Now, it does have downsides too. Like, this is the easy mode add-on, but it's not easy mode in the sense it's like the free win add-on. It's easy mode as in it just requires less skill in order to play. And frankly, most people that play this game they just don't have the time. They don't have the college degree and the trigonometry skills to actually master this killer. So when I say it's the easy mode add-on, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think this killer legitimately is too hard to play. So it's going to be for the majority of the player base that just simply doesn't have enough time to get to that level. So the first type of build you're going to be seeing is Prayer Kneeler add-on, and then for the build, they're going to be running the Hex build. They're going to be running that same standard, Thrill the Hunt, Ruin, just whatever. It's going to be 4 hexes, and the reason is this killer is disgustingly good, probably even better than Jason at defending hexes. And frankly, that's a whole separate issue, and I don't even know how to fix that. But this killer is extremely good at defending hexes, and the best part is to defend hexes, you don't have to be good at the killer. You need to be able to draw a straight line towards a glowing object in the distance, and this shit has insanely high range, so you can basically map-wide defend your totem. So it's the most low-effort thing you can do with the most low-effort add-on, but it's gonna yield very good results. It's going to be pretty effective. So although a lot of people are probably not going to actually play this killer because they're not going to be able to play it without this stuff, the ones that do play it are going to very likely use these things. So as a survivor, be prepared to bring maps, counterforce, and all that stuff, because I can't go over how insanely strong hex builds are going to be on this killer. And this is not me teaching you some crazy secret or something. You see giant beam go far, giant beam hit people, giant beam interrupt totem. This is not some crazy thing that it's taking scholars to figure out. You figure that out 5 seconds after playing this killer, that they're disgustingly good at defending totems. So you're going to see a lot of hex builds and a lot of prayer kneelers. That's going to be the first type of player that you see. The next type of player, probably still running the hex build, to be honest, because they're simply not good enough at the killer to not be carried by that build. And I'll be honest, that build is going to carry a shit ton of people. I don't know how to fix that. Separate video entirely. But you're going to be seeing people that are not running the Prayer Kneeler add-on. This is going to be a much smaller demographic, but these are going to be the people that are starting to realize the power of the flick, where you can aim it away from them, turn back really quickly, and it'll go through them even if they're right in front of you. Now, people doing this that are not particularly good at it, it's still going to be somewhat easy to deal with as a survivor, because they're going to telegraph it a lot. They're going to be near a loop. They're going to start aiming. They're going to you see the synapses firing in the brain. They're going to turn around in a 180. And as soon as they do that, you know exactly what they're doing. At that point, basically all you have to do as survivor is get out of line of sight for a second, because what's going to happen is they're going to see you. They're going to turn around. They're not going to see you. And they're going to flick back really quickly. And if you're crouching or something behind a loop, they're going to they're just not going to know where to shoot it. Even if you crouch for just a second, that's all you have to do. As soon as they turn around, it's going to be very, very telegraphed. So you're going to be able to combat that. Now, what's going to happen is these people are probably going to get frustrated with that and go back to the previous archetype, which is going to further bolster the amount of people that are using that type of playstyle with the add-on and stuff like that. So next, we're going to start having the above average to very good judgment players. So they're not going to be running Prayer Kneeler, and they're also going to be using flicks, but they're going to start doing it more effectively. And this is start of like the area I think I'm starting to get to with the killer, where I started realizing you don't have to do this thing where you look away from the killer and then you look back real quick. What you can do is, as you're charging the bar, you can maintain eye contact the entire time. Right before the bar fills, you just go boop, boop, like that. If you can time it perfectly, you only have to look away for like a quarter of a second, and then you immediately turn back. So they don't have time to get out of line of sight, because you're turning it so quickly that they don't have time to get anywhere. So that's a lot of muscle memory, because you can't really look at the bar as it's charging because you have to look at the survivor that you're following. So it's sort of like kind of like feeling a hillbilly's chainsaw when it's about to actually, become active. It's that sort of muscle memory you're going to have to develop where you know right before the crosshair is going to spawn, and you're turning away right before that happens to minimize the amount of downtime looking at the survivor. That's going to be the more advanced style, and you're going to see people going for straight line flicks with that, and that becomes a lot harder to deal with. Then there is the final type. There is the Master Judgment player, which there's only going to be a handful of them. I occasionally glimpse into the reality of what the killer can actually do. But these players are going to do, they're going to do the flick shots and stuff like that. They're still going to be doing that. But they're going to do the most powerful thing this killer can do, which is perpendicular shots. Perpendicular shots are when you're not aiming it in a straight line. Because even if you very quickly flick back, at the very least, they're still going to see the beam spawn. They're going to see where you are, and they're going to see where they are. And in their head, they're going to be able to draw a rough line of where it's possibly going to go, giving them a chance to dodge it. So it's still going to be very hard to dodge. And if you're in zealous mode, you can curve it, which makes it even more difficult to dodge. But the perpendicular shot is one of those shots where you almost can't dodge it, because the perpendicular shot, unlike every other shot, is spawning behind the person that you're aiming at. So they start to have to make a decision. Now they're the one not looking at you. If they want to look at where the beam is coming, they have to do this. And now they're not looking at the loop anymore. They're not looking at you. They're looking at where the hell that beam's spawning. And they need to keep looking to see where it's going to spawn, because you can keep adjusting it until you actually let it go. So that becomes very, very difficult to deal with Survivor. The viewers that we're going against were saying that those horizontal perpendicular shots were almost impossible to dodge. But at the same time, those shots are by far the hardest for the killer to do. So they're the hardest to do, but also the hardest to dodge, which means if you master them, you're an absolute menace. And even the best players in the world are going to struggle dodging your hits. Additionally, the longer you charge your power, the shorter the activation time for the actual hitbox to start. Meaning, if you get a long distance perpendicular shot, you can drag it almost right on top of them and it'll hit them, which gives them almost no time to react whatsoever. And I know you might be saying, well, that just sounds like Henry 2 again. That's going to be really boring. And that is true, but the amount of skill required to do that is so infinitely higher than Henry that it's just not even like, you shouldn't even be mad about that if people are able to reliably do perpendicular long range insta shots on you. You shouldn't even be upset about that. You should just be going, holy shit, that was good. Like, that's just impressive at that point. So that's going to be the absolute tippy top of what the Judgment can do. That is going to be the hardest shots in the game to make, but they're also by far the hardest to dodge. And if you can reliably judge the distance, because the hardest thing about those, I've tried to do them, and occasionally I can do it. I'm starting to understand it, but the hardest part about that is knowing where on the Z-axis, which is like depth, knowing on the Z-axis where to pause it. Because if you're shooting in a straight line, if they run backwards in any cone or direction, you encompass a giant, angle, basically. If you're doing a perpendicular shot, you need to stop it on their exact Z-axis and then perfectly drag it across on the Y-axis. Like, it's legit trigonometry. Like, it actually is, which is why it's so difficult to do. But yeah, incredibly powerful if you're able to actually learn how to master that. There's also a couple of other little things you can do that you'll see these master players doing, but I frankly have not even begun to master them yet, so I don't even want to include them because I just don't even know about them yet. So there are a lot of things you can do, but those are going to be the main types of players you can see. You're not going to have to worry about the god tier perpendicular ones very much, but like I said, once you start learning how to do it and now they're spawning the beam behind you and you have to worry about it coming from your back, that is when it becomes incredibly difficult to deal with. So I'm going to leave you with another game. Like I said, I've just been practicing the killer a shit ton. These are against my viewers that knew what I was doing and stuff like that. So I'm just going to leave you with another game on Dead Sands, where I'm just starting to barely scratch the surface of what this killer can do. And it's really terrifying when you see what they're capable of. But that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Nice. Should have just canceled it. I'm just going to consign to never M1, even though obviously M1ing here is the right call. Yeah, see, I kind of spawned that directly on top of him. Big save. I'm not doing it. You're not bada booming me. thought I won, I immediately gave up. Can you actually save someone from being exiled? No. Why? I can't turn it. There we go. That's weird. God, that's hard, man. How survivors liking versing the killer? I would imagine people are finding this fun to go against because no one's like, I can't say no one. I don't know every player in the world, but it's so hard to master that I feel like survivors are just gonna beat the shit out of this killer for a very long time. Yeah, I need to get that rapid motion down. Like, getting that smooth is good. That's such a muscle memory. Shit. Oh, ow. It's toxic. You can only do that in the powered up version. It's a lot easier in the powered up version. I need to be aiming this wide. And said it's his least favorite killer because there's no downtime. That's because Hens is an old man. He's not up to the hip jive active killers of today. Oh, it's awkward. Too gamb of a killer? I don't think it's as bad as Henry, but I can understand that criticism. What the fuck? I didn't even hear you. Oh, hello. I'm not that young either. That is the joke. I'm pretty sure Hens and I are almost the same age. Oh, didn't realize I was almost done. Damn it. Wait, this is not chem trapped. All right, we're gonna have to do the strong one. There we go. Yeah, it's a lot harder to dodge that when I can aim it. Oh, I was hoping he would dodge to the left. Oh my god, he's here still. Why is he doing this? Fuck. That was smart, taking the inside. Would you be able to try Trickster's Delusion next? Ugh. I don't want to. That seems really bad for this killer. I know. So you just want to see me suffer is what you're saying? Map was horrible for you? I don't doubt it. It was probably terrible. Gonna get them eventually in live servers? Well, I'll just complain a lot then. Surprised it didn't blind me. This motherfucker.
Not enough.
Ah! Oh my, kick it. Not happening. Damn it. I one weakness basement stairs. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. I bet I could do that, actually. Oh, I'm so zealous. I should be turning it after. Whoops. Oh, this expired. Aha! You're powerless to stop me now. No Brazil. Am I the only one who thinks that violin is just weird? Like it doesn't match the killer at all? I don't know. Like their actual like regular theme is great, but I feel like that violin just feels like... I have a very specific reference. It sounds like if you've chosen the violin as your instrument in Divinity Original Sin 2 and you get it down on a unit. So that's what it reminds me of. It's very specific. You know how would you got? I mean, it's a pretty popular game. Oh. It's all over. Oh, shit on. Played Divinity Original Sin 2 months ago. It's amazing. Yeah, I love that game.